When I signed up for my first triathlon, I thought you just needed a pair of running shoes, a bike, and goggles. Turns out that's not it. Years later, I have a bike that's more expensive than my car, and I'm here to break down the cost of triathlon for you. Spoiler alert, it's not cheap, but you can make it really affordable because there's options. I'm gonna dive into how much a half Ironman World Championship is costing me and how you can save some money doing all of this, because to be honest, you don't need the top gear to do a race. So let's start with the basics. What do you really need to do a triathlon? You need a tri-suit. A tri-suit is it's like a cycling kit, but it's all in one piece, and that's what you wear all race long from the beginning to the end, so you don't have to switch clothes or anything like that. So you need that. The price of that can go for cheap, $100, to very expensive, $500. I always recommend getting something that's good quality because you're gonna be wearing that for hours, but you don't really need to break the bank on that. I get my tri-suits and cycling kits from a friend's brand. I'll leave the link below. You can use this discount code too to get 10% off, and they're great quality. Of course, she's my friend, so she sponsors me, so I don't pay full price for this kit, but they are $250, so they are in the mid-range, not super expensive but not cheap. Then for the swim, you just need goggles. I have 2 pairs of goggles. Why do I have 2 pairs? I have ones that are mirrored in case it's sunny, so that you don't get the reflection of the sun in your eyes, like it reflects the sun. It's just like, wearing sunglasses. And I have a pair that's transparent because a lot of these races happen really early in the morning where there's not that much sun, or in case it's a cloudy day, you don't want the mirror glasses because the visibility is less with those when it's cloudy. And that's all you need for this swim, because the cap you will get at the race and you don't need anything else. For the second part, you need a bike. The bike is by far the most expensive part or equipment tool that you're gonna need to buy. You can get a bike for really cheap. The first bike I got was a commuter bike that cost me $300. Then I realized that bike was, in my opinion, not good enough to do a half Ironman because of the amount of hours and distance you have to do on the training. Like, I wanted something more comfortable, so I got myself a road bike. Nothing extremely fancy. It was a carbon road bike. It was a mechanical change. It was about $2,300, which is a lot of money, but nothing compared to how much money you can spend on a bike. I will talk about what I currently have in a bit, because it's different. You need a helmet. Also, the price varies a lot. For my first race, I had a helmet that was $150. Again, nothing crazy. And I needed also cycling shoes, right? Some people do race without cycling shoes. They just race with sneakers. I recommend buying cycling shoes. You don't need to get the top end of cycling shoes, but they do make a difference. It makes a difference to be clipped in than not being clipped in. Again, for my first race, my cycling shoes were really cheap. They were not even triathlon shoes, and they did the job. And then lastly, for the run, you need a pair of sneakers, and that also changes a lot. There's many brands. I typically use Nike. I already had the shoes. I didn't buy new shoes for that race, no carbon plate or anything for my first race. I just raced with my regular training shoes. And then one thing that I wouldn't call it a must-have, but it really does help, is to get yourself a watch, a sports watch, because it helps you track all your training and keep track on the race of where you're at. I bought this in 2020. I bought this for my first half Ironman. I still have it. It's great. It's a Garmin Fenix 6S. Now they're by the 8S, but I honestly want to upgrade because now the technology is great, but this still works perfectly fine. So I'm not upgrading yet. And yeah, that's literally all you need to do a race. And I almost forgot, for that swim on my first race, a wetsuit was mandatory because the water was cold. Wetsuits can get really expensive too, but I got something that was mid-range. It was a Roka wetsuit, cost me about $700, but they can get really expensive. I think getting a mid-tier wetsuit was a good idea. I still have the same one, but if I were to get a new one, I would spend a little more money, but you also can get one that is $200 and be fine with it. Then, of course, race entry and traveling to the race, right? So the race entry was about $350, expensive. And then traveling there with gas, stay, food, and whatnot, we probably spent another $500. So the grand total for my first half Ironman was about $5,000, which is a ton of money. Can you make this cheaper than $5,000? Probably, but not a ton more cheaper. That was bare bones that I raced my first race. Things that I have upgraded or changed. My bike. I upgraded my bike to a triathlon bike. I think it's worth it. My bike was almost $11,000, which is a lot of money. You don't need to spend that much money. There are cheaper triathlon bikes out there. I just loved my bike when I saw it, and I knew I did not mind spending that money. With that, I also purchased a bike computer, which is like a watch, but that you put on your bike, so you see all your data there while you're riding, so you don't have to move around. A heart rate monitor so that the heart rate readings are more accurate, and a power meter because simply that data helps you train with the power output instead of just your heart rate output. So just for training purposes, and of course then racing purposes, so that you know what ranges you're in. I also upgraded my running shoes. I now use carbon running shoes, the Nike ones, the Alpha Flies. I love them. They're light, they're very springy, and they do help you, but I will tell you that you cannot train 24/7 with those shoes because they'll destroy your legs. And especially for us amateurs, like, can't do that. Those shoes are meant to be used when you're running fast, and by fast I mean not at your slow pace. So definitely not for running slow. They are for running fast. Triathlon shoes for the bike. I just bought a new pair. They're $410, so expensive as hell. Oh yes, last but not least, I have bought a bike case because I was using a friend's bike case, and I finally decided to get my own. I'm gonna do the unboxing, so I'm gonna film it so that we can all do it together and you can see it. But basically, this box, what's different from the one I was using is that you don't need to dismount your bike. You don't need to put it apart. Literally just take the wheels and put the bike in and you're good to go. So I think that is probably one purchase that I will recommend, but I still haven't used it, so I can still say I'm using it for the first time for this trip. So on and all, you see, you can do triathlon for $5,000 and you can do it for $20,000. That depends on your budget and how much money you're willing to spend. Really, clearly willing to spend all my salary in it. On my second coffee of the day. I typically don't have 2 coffees, but today I need it. Let's rank races by distance. So the races here close to my house, the entries vary depending on how soon or late you sign up. Basically, the closer to the race, the more expensive. So for that last race I did, that was an Olympic triathlon, the fee was $250, which I thought it was outrageous.
That's outrageous.
That is insane for such a short race, but I guess that's my fault for signing up so late. I don't know. I think that's insane. And then, of course, going there was driving, so no fee. And then the parking was like $12. So that race only cost me the race entry, because I already had all the gear. For example, for the race I did last year, my half Ironman, the entry was about $500. We rented a car, so that was another $500 plus the gas, which was about $200 back and forth. Plus the house we rented, that was almost $1,000. So there you go. That was already like a $2,000 to $3,000 weekend. And then now for the race I'm doing in Spain, it's even more money, because the race entry for a half Ironman World Championship, if you didn't know, it's almost $900. Just for the entry, you pay $900 just to race that race, which is crazy. But I guess we're a lot of crazy people, because probably 3,000 people pay $900 to race that. Then I bought the bike case brand new, which was about $1,000. Then the flights were $800. The stay was also $800, and probably once we're there, we're gonna rent a car, which it's gonna end up costing another $800. Oh, and I forgot, then you also need to pay, of course, for the suitcase fee on the plane, which is another $150 to $200, depends on the airline, for each leg, right? It adds up. I mean, I don't even know how much money I had already said. It's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. Can you make any of these cheaper? So clearly you cannot change the race entry fees. That's something out of your control. So it depends on, again, the race, the distance of the race, whether it's a sprint, an Olympic, a half Ironman, and then a full Ironman. The race entry is something you can change. You don't need the top end gear for your first, second, third race until you commit to doing it. I don't want you to think, because I keep saying that it's expensive, I don't want you to think that you can't do it. Again, I raised my first half Ironman when I was in a different financial situation that I am today. I bought what I could afford. Where there's a will, there's a way. So you can choose how much money you spend on all the gear, right? The only thing that's steady Freddy is the race entry again. So up to you, my friend, how much money you spend. So what other hidden costs does this sport have? A coach, the pool, nutrition, nutritionist, massage therapist, a gym. You can again keep making it as expensive or affordable as possible. So a coach is something I 10 out of 10 recommend, especially if you're new. You might think, oh, but I'm new, I don't need a coach because, I'm not aiming to do well on a race or I just want to finish. But the guidance of a coach can help you so much, and it can just avoid a lot of drama, especially if you have no idea. I always had a triathlon coach. Like, I did not just go race a half Ironman without a coach. I thought that was something I was not going to be cheap on. Then every time I go to the pool is $3. So I go 3 times a week to the pool, which makes it $9 a week times 4 weeks is $27 a month that I spend. 28, no, 9 times 4 is 32. No, it's 36. What the fuck am I saying? Then I don't spend money at the gym because I've been lifting at home, but I also have a gym at my building, but that could also be an added cost. Not everything about this sport is expensive, right? My favorite runs, free. Swims in open water, free. Spending time with friends, free. The best part by far of all of this has been the great community that I've met. I have met so many friends that have literally become family in this sport. It's incredible. Everybody's so supportive. Everybody's always rooting for you. Everyone wants the best outcome for you. That's something that money can't buy. It's kind of easy to be like, oh my God, this is so expensive. Why would anyone do a triathlon? The reason why is because it really pushes you, again, video number 1, to become a better person. It will push your limits. It will help you meet people, get out of the house. It will keep you accountable. It will keep you disciplined. I mean, you keep yourself disciplined. You get committed to something, and then you get to just change who you are with that sport. And it helps your mental health, which is so important. I bet if more people exercise, the world would be a better place. If you're a triathlete, let me know in the comments if you think I'm insane and I'm spending too much money. If you want to become a triathlete and have questions about anything that I just said, please let me know in the comments. I will respond to you. And subscribe. On the next episode in 2 weeks, I'll be talking about how I get ready for a big race like this. How do I know I'm ready for a race like this? What do I pack to travel internationally? And all the feelings that one person has right before an important race like this. So hit subscribe. You don't want to miss it.